Hello to everyone. Okay, today I was out, so I ate a hamburger, a little hamburger from McDonald's, but you know, that was just a tiny hamburger. So I'm having some tea. And so this month what I'm doing is I'm spending very little money on anything. I mean, I'm being as cheap as I can, which is pretty cheap. So, okay, what I want to do is I just want to make 1 cup of milk with my powdered milk. I just want to make 1 cup at a time. The reason I want to make this milk is, for one thing, I want to drink at least 1 cup of milk, but for another thing, I need milk for my tea. And so for another thing, I want to be as cheap as I possibly can. All right, and where's my little measuring spoon? Okay, then I'll use this one. Okay, so what this video is about is prepare for an event, some major event now. Don't wait. Don't wait. Prepare right now. So 1/4 cup, I get this one at Walmart. My friend and I, one of my friends, we went to get food today. And I told her, you know, you need to save money because let's say if the food boxes aren't sufficient, you know, food people are used to, they might run to the food banks, and it's conceivable all the food could be, you know, taken. So you want to, if you might possibly need food, or you have it into the back of your mind that your EBT might be cut, run to the food bank now before your EBT is cut. Pile your house full of food. Okay, so this is the second time we have done this. I think I mentioned to you guys we had done this about, not last week, the week before. And so I looked in the bag, and there was, from what I could see, it was kind of like the other one. Peanut butter, crackers, soup, canned fruit, canned vegetables. There was some hot chocolate mix. It was pretty much like the other one. You know, it's mostly like canned food. I think I saw some tuna in there. Okay, so what you want to do is if you even think, you know, you might get cut, or, you know, this food that's in the food boxes, I think this would be like the canned food a person would buy. You can live on canned food, but it's better if you have okay, so what I had in my canned food was chicken bologna. And so what I'm doing for the rest of the month, and believe me, the month is almost over. March is coming. We're not 100% sure what might happen with this food thing. So if you know, run to the churches. If you have friends, take them, or if you can, get extra. I mean, if you don't need any food. Now, I didn't, because in San Diego, sometimes the food bank runs out of food. So you don't want to be taking food when it's possible. You know, they run out of food anyway without any kind of emergencies. So, okay, so start preparing now. And one of the things you can do is eat up all your scraps. Okay, this canned bologna, I got it 99 cents only. I don't know how many days I've been eating this stuff. It goes forever. So I just want a little bologna sandwich. So, okay, so this works no hardship on me because I like bologna sandwiches. But this could be a tuna sandwich. This could be a deviled ham sandwich. This could be some salmon meat sandwich. This could be one of the things I like. I bought this cheese at 99 cents only for $2. $2 for a half a pound is about the same rate as the Aldi's cheese you buy. At Aldi's you buy You buy a pound for $3.99, and this is $1.99 for a half pound. So, okay, so this is going to be a pretty good sandwich. It's going to tide me over. My bread is still a little bit frozen. And so you're going to say to yourself, okay, I'm taking no chances on running out of food. This is my pumpkin bread I made. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on my food prep every day. I'm going to go through my, I'm just going to cut that off a little piece at a time. I don't know how much pumpkin bread I want to eat. Okay, so I won't starve out. I'm using my powdered milk in my tea. It's not making me suffer. And if I need milk in anything else, like my Cheerios, I want to make mention of the Cheerios. Okay, my son's girlfriend, Misha, her uncle was the one that won the $1 million on the Ellen giveaway. So I said, okay, we're going to eat Cheerios from now on. And I keep everything securely in baggies so that my cereal doesn't get stale. But I wanted to mention something. This is 1 pound, 2 ounces. So this is like a big loaf of bread. So this is a good thing to stockpile. And then you can eat it with your powdered milk. So that would be 2 good things to stockpile. Another thing is I hadn't eaten any Cheerios for a long time, and I found them to be rather good. So, you know, so I prep on my garden, and sometimes on the garden, you don't need to do anything to it. I would prep tea because tea is a really cheap beverage, and it's going to taste better with my sandwich than water. And then, some of you didn't see my video, I prepped some juice. Usually I'll prep 2 at a time. Okay, so now I want to make some bread. And I want to show you something. Okay, now I bought this 25 pound flour, and believe it or not, before you know it, your flour is gone and you need flour. You really need flour. So, you know, let me give you the bread recipe. If you've been following me, you've seen it a zillion times. So all you need is yeast, sugar, flour, and water. That's all you need. So what I want to do to prepare for my week, today is Monday. I usually do this on Sunday. I'm a day late. I want to make some bread because tonight is casserole night. And so my bread is going to taste good with my casserole. So I have 1 1/4 cup water. I have 1 tablespoon honey, and I have 2.5 teaspoons of yeast. I bought this one at Dollar Tree for $1. Walmart, and this is really good on my home bread, and so is peanut butter. Oh, here's the bread that I made my sandwich at. Let's see, how many ounces is this bread? This is a big one. Okay, this is 20 ounces. So this big loaf of bread is about the same as Cheerios. That's a good way to prevent, you don't want to be running out of bread because then you can't make a sandwich. So not being able to make a sandwich, or you know, this is about, okay, each of these pieces of bread was 5 or 10 cents. My tea was about 10 cents. My cheese was a few cents. so today I just want to make, just white bread today. Okay, I have a little white flour left, so I want to use that up. And so what I'm doing is I'm making sure I have food I need for this week. I'm making sure I have milk. I'm making sure I have bread. I made sure I had cheese. I have meat in my stockpile. I bought another one of those, just one. But if you're new and you have extra money, maybe 6 at a time is good. They say when you first start to stockpile, go for 20. But I usually don't do it that way. I work on it a little bit each day, like 2 per day. 2 juices. You want, if you can stockpile juice. If you can stockpile, okay, like in the bags that we got today. That was canned fruit and canned vegetables and soup. You might want to get some soup. I think the homemade soup like I made yesterday is probably cheaper and maybe a little bit better for you. Especially if you have hanging around in the kitchen some vegetables that need to be eaten. You can use frozen vegetables. I had potatoes in mine and then whatever vegetables I could find. I had some macaroni. I had some rice. I had some, you know what I'm liking for the stockpile is the dehydrated onions. I bought those at Walmart. Those were good. So I want to encourage you guys. Oh, and somebody's going to try. Oh, and somebody had a baby. That's nice. Congratulations on the baby. Now that's an accomplishment. So, you know, work a little bit. You know, don't torture yourself. That I think that kind of approach is counterproductive because, you know, you're not going to keep it up. But if you just work on it a little bit each day. Okay, so last month I bought the flour, and I think this week I'm going to buy shortening because I used up all my shortening. Usually I buy 2, but last month I bought lard. Lard is cheaper, but the thing about lard is pig fat. So in a minute I'm going to be making some cookies, and so I didn't want to use my butter in my cookies, so I used shortening. But I don't know about lard in cookies, but Crisco is fine in cookies. And another thing, I'm going to make some chocolate chip cookies for tonight to go with my tea. And so what I've been doing, and this made me happy because some of you are doing it too, you're just making half batches and then you're saving the other batch for, say, next week, next month, you know, when you might need a cake. Because usually you just want a little piece of cake. You don't want cake hanging around for a long time. You just want a piece of cake. I think that's why people buy cupcakes, you know. And so one of the things I stockpile is chocolate chips because eventually you know you're going to want to eat chocolate chip cookies. I mean, most of all the cookie baking, you would want to stockpile stuff for oatmeal cookies and chocolate chip cookies. And you want to stockpile flour. You want to stockpile shortening. You want to stockpile salt. They say if anything was to happen, salt would be good for barter. You know, you never think about running out of salt. I'll tell you something bad to run out of: toilet paper. That's what we were talking about today. You want to save a little money so that if anything happens and you can't go to the food bank, if you can't save money because you don't have any money, one of the best things to do would be get the free food. I'm not saying suffer. I'm just saying, you know, get it. and you know, eat it little by little. I mean, not every night until life is a living hell. That's counterproductive, very counterproductive. Extreme, that's misery. Life is too short for misery. We've had a lot of tragedy. It's awful. So that's why you don't want to make life misery, because you don't know what's just right around the corner, and maybe, you know, some bad stuff gonna happen. More than likely something. Okay, so what I do is I just let my bread rise one time. I'll just make a little loaf. There we go. Okay, so I'll let that rise. Okay, so now I know I'm gonna have cookies. And so I use the last bit of my Crisco instead of my butter, because I didn't want to use my butter. I'm just making a half batch. I could use my butter, but why should I? I have the last bit of Crisco in my can, and I have plenty of oil. I have plenty of lard, and then I'll buy a big can of Crisco. I might buy the sugar this month. The big bags of sugar. You know, another thing they say. Well, we know during the Depression, two things they didn't have enough of is meat and sugar. So those two things, I used my raw brown sugar. I had a little piece left. So I used my raw brown sugar. I bought eggs at Dollar Tree and 99-cent only for some reason. I don't know why. Probably because I thought I needed eggs and I didn't. And another thing you want to stockpile is baking soda. So you can bake cookies or like the banana nut bread I made. Let's see. 1 teaspoon baking soda, so I need a half a teaspoon. And then as I'm going along and I'm doing my work, I'm just eating my sandwich. Half a teaspoon baking soda. I can't find my measuring spoon. Salt. A pinch of salt. Where's my salt? So, okay, so what I did was I used my Crisco instead of using up my butter. Crisco is cheaper, and I have Crisco in the stockpile. Okay, and I want to mention something. So I wanted to be cheap, and I had, when I greased my pan, I threw the rest of my lard in here, and then you can brush a little lard on the top of your loaf of bread. And then one thing that I like is I like to use Mexican vanilla. Where's my Mexican vanilla? I like to go heavy on my Mexican vanilla for a half a batch. It tastes good. That's why. And it says beat until light and fluffy. La la la, it's fluffy enough. Okay, and then I need how much flour? Okay, I have baking soda, salt, butter, granulated sugar, brown sugar, vanilla eggs, and 1 1/8 cup flour. So okay, so now when you buy the flour in these 25-pound bags, the flour is pretty cheap. I mean, I paid next to nothing. I would suggest getting a couple bags of flour. You know, it's going to be bad for you if you don't have bread. But if you don't have bread and you have Cheerios, that would be good. We're going to be eating Cheerios for the rest of our lives at my house after that $1 million win. I still can't get over that. That doesn't happen. That's not... I'm thinking to myself every time I think about it, this does not compute. So am I suffering preparing a little food for this coming week? Now tonight, when I have my chocolate chip cookies, and I bought these chocolate chips at one of the 99-cent stores. I'm not going to use them all. I'm just going to use enough for a little half batch. So I'm going to bake these cookies up. And as you can see, this is going to make quite a few cookies. Okay, so now we have chocolate chip cookie dough. Okay. Here's the lard that I greased my pan. Now, tonight is casserole night, and I'm excited. I'm trying a new chili ravioli bake. This is a really good cookbook, and nothing I have ever made has turned out horrible. Okay, so I went to my stockpile, and I had a can of raviolis. It calls for chili with no beans, but mine's going to have beans because my chili is going to have corn. And I had corn chips from, I had some bean dip. And then it's going to have some of this cheese. So this is all that's needed to make the casserole. So tonight's going to be casserole. And I will post this recipe on Twitter. Okay, so think to yourself, okay, did I work on my indoor garden? Did I have an indoor garden? If not, I could at least today harvest some seeds out of my squash or my apple or whatever vegetables you have that has fruit. Did you go through your food and secure all your half packages in one place and start eating it down for the rest of the month? This is a short month. On my Twitter, I posted a good video of, oh, it looks so good, Philly cheese steak sandwiches. A little bad language, but you know, we have to go through what we have to go through to get these recipes. Okay, did I prepare some food for the coming week? Was I super thrifty and did I use up all my leftovers? And then, did I come up with cheap meals? I mean, don't torture yourself, but you know, a sandwich and tea, that's a good lunch. I'm doing the Dave Ramsey thing. I'm trying to save $1,000, so the best way to do that is spend very little money and save all the money you can. I have a feeling this money saving thing gets easier as you go on. If possible, try to figure out a way to earn a little extra money. I do eBay, and then I get a little money from YouTube, so thank you guys for watching. If you don't want to get the free food, at least figure out where it was. Okay, the last two, I'm going to mention this. We went 2 times, and both times we really didn't know where it was. So we found it, and we went in, and within 1 or 2 minutes, you know, there was a bag of food. So you figure even if the bag of food was worth between $10 and $20, you're trying to save $21 a week, and that's going to take you to $1,000 a month. Or if you can figure out a way to earn a little extra money, I think that's easier, but I think it's very important right now. Another thing is we're having a record-breaking cold winter. So what would happen if people couldn't get their EBT boxes because they're snowed in and they don't have any food? Also, I posted the dumpster diving videos, and I wanted to make mention about this. Okay, I was watching the dumpster diving videos because, you know, I just thought, I don't see how anybody could do that. But what I discovered is they would get the, you know, when you look in the dumpsters, you will see bags from the trash inside tied shut. And it had never occurred to me to go inside of those bags. So if, say, you would never want to dumpster dive, neither would I. Well, I wouldn't want to live in my car either. And there's all kinds of things I wouldn't want to do. But I would like to know if I could do it, just in case. You know, you could be displaced or something. This is not a bad lunch. Stockpile 1 or 2 things a week to start. And, you know, eat up all your scraps. That's really going to save money. And I will be back with my casserole. What is this thing called? Chili ravioli bake. Okay, you guys. God bless you all.